Oh, it's cold. It's not super cold, but it's getting cold. All right. Why the Valve Index is one of the best VR headsets going into 2020. I'm Paolo Trianni and welcome VR addicts to my channel. Okay, so let's talk about the negatives. Not many, but let's talk about them. The headset is one of the heaviest headsets on the market. The strap does take the sting out of it, but it still feels a little heavy for some. The glare is a huge issue with it. It's like driving a car at night and someone with their high beams coming towards you. If you bought one with the click gate issue, then you might not be able to feel the click on, and that's on the left controller. So you might not be able to feel the click on the left controller. And the worst case scenario is it doesn't even respond as a button. And I've seen people have to return it because they just can't run in games because it just doesn't work. And that's it. That is literally all the negatives. There's not much negatives to say about the Index. I mean, the glare is quite a big one in my opinion, but it's not, it doesn't really notice it too much if you're just playing with it every day. So now on to the pros. The lens on the screen is very clean and sharp. Other than previously mentioned glare, there is nowhere near to no artifacts, including screen door, to be seen. Yes, it's like really like this. I don't see any other artifacts, no Mora. There's no sort of like other distractions. Like didn't hear about dead pixels on any of these headsets. Fantastic. The tracking uses outside base station, known as lighthouses to a lot of people. This tracking method is the best on the market, and it will be perfect as tracking can be right now. Comfort is subjective, but personally I find it very comfortable and I really have no issues at all with it, I can literally go for a long game sessions wearing the Valve Index with no issues whatsoever at all. My favorite comfort though is the Rift S, but and then also I like the PSVR one as well. The 1600p is really good thanks to it being RGB. It is one of the sharpest resolutions I've ever seen. Personally, the Pimax is very good though as well. That's the 5K though. The 144 Hz can be dialed into the Index, making this the smoothest experience of any other VR headset on the market. It literally kills it when it comes to refresh rate. Kills it. It's such a pro. Build quality is very good. When you hold the Index, you know right away it's solid as it can get. It is such a solid feeling headset, and when you got it in your hands, you think, well, this is premium. The headset has speakers that hang just away from your ears. This keeps your ears free from friction and heat. So that's really a cool feature, and that's kind of what the Oculus was going for, but they didn't do this part, the next part, which is a pro. The sound from these speakers are nothing but amazing. The bass is strong while not drowning out any of the mids or highs. Also, it is competitive in shooters. Footsteps can easily be heard and not crunched out by the loud explosive bass. Another positive, it has a funk. I mean, it's useless pretty much at the moment, but it has a little storage space. You can hide your flipping USB flipping porn collection in there from your partner. She might have heard me. Yeah, the cable length is a good length. It is amazingly good length. It's probably one of the best out there as well. Controller finger tracking and rechargeable batteries. So yeah, the controllers have finger tracking, so you can track your fingers on the Index, and it also can be recharged, so you don't have to keep whipping out batteries every 5 seconds. If you've got Windows Mixed Reality, you know how bad that is. Or if you've got the Cosmos, probably. Now for the questionables. Not many games have support for the controller finger tracking, and some games come out without Index support altogether. We have to moan really heavy for that. And can we get some cool funk shiz, please? I want to get something like cool. I want to get like an LED or something that I can have my name on it or something, or the game I'm playing or something. It'd be really cool, anything. It's very pricey for the average Joe. So, that's the questionables. Some people obviously don't think that's a negative, so I'm going to put that in questionables, even though I kind of think it's more of a negative. To answer your question, this is the greatest enthusiast VR headset going into 2020. Hands down, this thing is an absolute beast of a headset. It literally, out of the negatives I mentioned, the one that just gets me the most is probably the glare and the click gate. Other than that, and most people don't get that anymore because they fixed it with the new headset. So if you're getting one like in February or whatever, or you got one before Christmas, you probably don't have the click gate. You're fine. So all you stressed out about probably more, and you probably don't give a damn about the heavy. If you've got a strong neck, you're not going to feel it. If you're a child, it might be a problem. If you're a girl with a very thin neck, maybe, I don't know. But I don't have that problem. So what gets me the most is probably the glare and my click gate issue. Other than that, there is no other issues. It's absolutely stunning, and it is sharper than the Rift S. When you get the Rift S, there's not much difference at first, but when you use it, when you switch in between them so much like I am, you kind of eventually see that it is sharper in the index. Not as clear though, obviously, because the Rift S is the clearest green of them all. But the index is definitely the sharpest, and sharpest is definitely something that I love. I don't really, with the CV1, the PSVR and stuff like that, and the Vive, it's a bit blurry when you go into games. You can see the blur off in a distance. It just can't handle it. And in the index, it seems to handle it really well. The distances and the draw distance. Yeah, it's just mwah. Yeah, so this headset is great, and the build quality, you almost feel like you could drop this thing, and the only thing that would smash is probably the Funk, which I've got here, right? This is the Funk cover, and the Funk cover could do with some decal as well. It'd be nice to get something that we can change this as well. Some people actually play without this on, because this is just a piece of plastic. This is probably the weakest part of it, actually, and no one really cares. But yeah, the build quality is amazing, and the magnetic part where you can actually take the face pad off, it's just magnetic, it is just superb. So, and you can bring the lenses in right up to your eyes to get a wider field of view. And I didn't mention that as a positive as well. It's got like a wider field of view than most headsets. Obviously, it doesn't beat the Pimax, but the field of view on the Index is astonishingly better than I find. Like, I don't really know, I'm not a field of view crazy fanatic. I have a Pimax, and some people put a Pimax on and the field of view just blows them away and they just can't go back. Yeah, I feel that way with ultra wide monitors. I've got an ultra wide monitor here. I find it hard to go back. I love my ultra wide monitor, but when it comes to VR headsets, it's more about the sharpness and the clarity that gets to me the most. I really want to see less God rays, and I want to just see as a beautiful screen as you get in the Index and the Rift S. I don't want any distractions with artifacts and anything like that. And the field of view is second to that to me. So field of view, on the Index is a plus. It's a nice feature to have. The Pimax is fantastic field of view. Yes, it does have a really nice chunky ass field of view, and I really do like the field of view. But it just doesn't beat the Index, in my opinion, for everything else the Index has to offer, like the controllers, the tracking, the 1600p screen, which is, well, I don't know, the screen actually, there's just the sweet spot as well. The sweet spot both in the Rift S and the Index is like virtually all the way to the ends. On the Pimax, it's not quite, it's like virtually the same as the Index, but when it gets to that extra field of view, it loses it. And both headsets, I think the Rift S is easy to get into, but the Index is definitely super easy to get into as well. So yeah, the Index has definitely got a nice field of view as well. You do notice it when you switch between both. Obviously, I've got a low IPD, so my low IPD kind of makes certain things okay. Where if you've got a higher one, you're going to notice it probably a bit more. In fact, if you've got a higher IPD, the Rift S is just probably going to be a very small field of view compared to something like the Index. Some people can get 130 field of view out of this. Oh, that's what they're boasting anyway at Valve. I get 110 measured. I've actually measured that. I get 110, but I only get about 90 in the Rift S. So you can see I'm actually getting that extra 20 that they claimed I should get, and I was getting it. So I was very impressed. And trust me, I wanted to find faults with everything. I'm a critic. I want to find faults with stuff, and I've kind of felt that they were like, their claim there would be a bit poop, and it wasn't. It was pretty good. So yeah, they did a great job there. So yeah, overall, this is definitely the enthusiast's headset. It is literally one of the best headsets on the market, but obviously it costs a small fortune. It's very expensive. It'd be nice to see the prices go down. And the weirdest thing, it's not even the headset that costs a lot. It's still the lighthouses. And I'm pointing towards my lighthouses. Yeah, I've got like 20. Just do this. Now I've got 2 lighthouses, obviously I got with it. Well, these are the lighthouses 2. There's 2 versions. There's Mark 1 and Mark 2. When you get the Index as a bundle, you get the second. And the Vive obviously had the first ones. But the 2s was supposed to be cheaper, and they didn't turn out very cheap. And then on top of it, the Index controllers, they're very expensive as well. They're very expensive, but they are intuitive. But at the same time, you know, you kind of wish they were a little cheaper. So, you know, if they could make savings in that area, I think this headset would be the killer headset of 2020 going into 2020. But this is the reason why I made a video about the Rift S and the Index, because the Rift S is a very good headset and it's there for the people that can afford it. Where the Index is the enthusiast headset, which just offers that little bit more other than the poor ass glare for people that can afford for more. But if you stay tuned, I'm going to be doing the one that can sit right in between, and that's the Quest. So anyway, if you like this video, please give me a like and also subscribe, because it goes straight to the heart. Hit the bell button if you can watch more VR content like this. Leave a comment below. What did you think to the Index? Do you love your Index? I don't think you're not going to love it. But anyway, do all 4 of those things you want to be put into the VR game giveaway, where every week I give a free game away. Obviously, if you've already subscribed and hit the bell button, you don't have to do that again. Thank you for watching. I love you a long time. Ciao.